welcome to Feed the Beast Monster. I'm CZ Survivor, and today we're going to be doing some more industrial craft. But first, I'm going to do some motorization with Tinker's Construct. But to do that, we're going to need one item, and that is called a pneumatic servo. So we're going to get that like so, and then we're going to get another item, which is a bucket and a bit of sand. So let's go down here. So, you know how I was creating the clear glass last episode? Well, let's say you want to automatically get it out of the smeltery. I'll show you how. Now, what I'm also going to need is oh no, I won't need a lever actually, now that I think about it. So, we're going to let this smelt up, and then we'll be back. So, we've got some molten liquid glass, and to automate this, we're first gonna put a way to get it out of the casting basin, which is simply putting a chest and a hopper underneath. Now, if you have any other mechanic of getting items out of a casting basin, I do believe it works. So item ducts or transport pipes, I do believe they work, but I may be mistaken. Now, to get out of to get the molten glass out of here, you'll want to put a fluid duct, and we'll want to click that so it's pulling out, and then we'll want to put a pneumatic servo, which is crafted with some glass and some redstone. Wait, did I say that before? I may have, or I may have not, I'm a bit confused. But anywho, you install a pneumatic servo, then if you right click, you can see blacklist and whitelist. Now, if you don't know what that is, whitelist means only allow, and blacklist means do not allow. So we'll set that to whitelist. And then, how do we whitelist a fluid? Well, that's pretty simple. If we put a bucket here and I've just poured the wrong liquid in. Okay, I'll sort that out in a bit. Just give me 1 second. Let's put this lava in here if I can. If we put that there, and then make sure that we've got molten glass on the bottom, and click, it'll put a bucket's worth, so a millibucket, which is enough to make one glass block, into here. We get ourselves a molten glass bucket. I'll sort out that mess I created over there in a second with the fluid ducts like I did before. And then if you click here, and voila, molten glass. So you see how it's not pulling it out? Well, if you click here and click on enable, so enable high means if there's a redstone signal, which this will automatically set to before you put the pneumatic servo on, but it will not allow you for filtering, you just apply a redstone signal. If you put ignore or low, it'll automatically turn on, so we'll put ignore and it'll fill it up. Now, how do we get this bucket of glass back in? Well, if you put a tank down, a fluid duct, switch it around, pour it in, and then apply a redstone signal, you'll get it out of there eventually. So this is automatically pouring out the glass, and in here we're getting clear glass. And then how would you get sand into here automatically? Well, you basically do practically the same system here, except for you put a chest here, a hopper underneath, going into the smeltery controller, and you'll automatically get glass smelting. That allows for a bigger buffer than this mere inventory in here, but I don't need to do that yet, so we'll be back once I've made quite a bit of clear glass, and we'll get on to Tinker's IC2. Sorry. Now, before I forget, to make this tank you need glass in the shape of a chest, like so. Just use regular glass, don't just ignore this coloured glass from Random Things mod. That's just another mod, and any glass is interchangeable, so you can use that clear glass as well, but I advise just using regular glass. So, the first step in doing the industrial craft upgrade, which I'm planning, will be to make a CESU. But before we do that, as I did last episode, I think we'll make some more low voltage solar arrays. Lots of power, so that is 8, 16, 32 EU per tick, which is the max this can output. So this system will be maxed out, but I want to add more solar panels, so we'll have to upgrade this. Now, the next step is called something called the CESU, which we can see there. which has the 128 EU per tick, if I can find it again there, and has 3000 EU capacity, which requires some bronze plates, some advanced RE batteries and some copper cable. And the advanced RE battery requires some bronze item casing, some sulfur and some lead with some copper cables. So I'll get started with making some of this stuff and then we'll be back. Now, one thing you may want to know, there is 2 ways to get this lead, well, 3 ways to get lead dust, but 2 ways that are easy to get it. You either pulverize or macerate a lead ingot, because if you macerate through industrial craft, when you macerate lead ore, you'll get that dirty ore which does not work. But an easy way to do it is stick it in the grindstone, and after a few twists, any minute now, there, you have some lead dust from industrial craft, and you have some more lead dust from there, and everything's happy, and you've got your lead dust. Now I've got me bronze item casing, so we can actually make the next step, make one part of it, which is these. We want 3 of these, so 1, 2, 3, and they don't stack. And then we'll come over to here, stick them in here, and 3, and we get ourselves a CESU. Then we're gonna rip out this battery, so like so. Grab it like so. Can't get out, of course. Break that. Hop over here, and we'll put it down. And as I showed last time, how do you turn this around? Is Shift, and you click, and it's facing down now. So these lots should begin power. Now, how do I prove that? I don't know. But another thing that we'll need to do is upgrade these tin cables to copper, because tin can only carry 32 EU per tick, whereas copper can carry the 128 EU, which we require. So let's grab these pieces, and then we'll get some tin cable, which is copper cable, I mean, sorry. So we'll roll it out in here. I'll probably need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cable, which will be easy enough, and I'll want to put another 2 in for the next item which we're going to make, which is the advanced backpack, which goes along with the CESU, which requires 6 of these RE batteries, a copper item case, some electronic circuit, which is where I'm going to need the copper, and I'm actually going to need, actually, where's that cable? We'll have to put it in here. Now, I do believe that this still works, it'll still send power along, but it will not send it at the 120 EU per tick, which we'll be wanting as I add more machines down the line, and we'll also be wanting to add upgrades to these machines that allow them to take the full 128 EU per tick. It'll actually take it up to 512 EU per tick, but that'll be in a minute. So I'll get the stuff to make this advanced backpack, and then we'll be back. Right, so here's our advanced RE batteries to make the advanced backpack. So let's quickly dump them in here. 3, 5, and 6, and now we have an advanced backpack. Now, what does a backpack do? You may be wondering. Well, a backpack allows don't know what I'm talking in there. Allows you to carry around electricity on your back by storing it in the backpack. Now, this backpack can hold twice as much of the CESU, which I find kind of a bit weird, because it can fit on your chest, which is that area. However, the CESU takes up a whole block. Yeah, I'm not too sure. But anywho, if you put it on your back and you use any item that requires electricity, for example this drill, so I'll prove it, just quickly mine at one of these blocks. So as you can see, it's at 28080. Mine the block, 3000, it's topped it up, and that power comes from your backpack, and that allows you to store extra electricity as for these tools. And it also works with the Tinker's Construct tools that you put RE batteries in the circuit on, which is very helpful. So what we'll want to do next is actually rearrange these machines, and I've already started laying out some cable, as you can see, for the next step. So what I want to do is get this electric wrench, and it really helps with the electric wrench when you're in lossless mode, because in lossless mode it uses a metric ton of electricity, and that's more than one charge. So what we'll do here is we'll dislocate all these, from here, and we'll want, this is what we're going to make. We're going to have the macerator here, then we're going to want an ore washing plant, a thermal centrifuge or something like that. I think it's called thermal centrifuge. I won't be able to find it now. I'm looking for it. Is that it? The thermal centrifuge, which we'll put there, and then we'll put our electronic furnace, our extractor, then we'll want a compressor and a metal former, and then I think there's one more item I want to put here, maybe not. Maybe I will, I'm not too sure. Maybe a recycler I'll stick on the end, or maybe I'll use that to turn the corner and send some machines down the back from the higher tier, for example the scanner, but maybe I'll use that in another setup that we're going to set up in the future. So next of all, we are going to want to make some transformer upgrades. Now how do we make them? Well, if we can find them in the list of items. Have I gone too far? Let's just do this. Type it in, go back a bit, and here it is, a transformer upgrade, which requires an MV transformer, some circuit, some glass, and some gold insulated cable. And we're going to need one for that, and we're going to need, I think, another one for the items that are going to go here. I won't need one for the thermal centrifuge. I'll need one for this, one for this, one for this, and one for this. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'll be back once I've made them. Right, so now we have our transformer upgrades. What you do is you get it and you click here, or in any 4 of these slots to insert it. And now if you look at it, as you can see with the Whaler, it says that it can accept 512 EU per tick. So if we take it out, only 32 EU per tick, which is very helpful, and that allows it to take the power of the MFE, I do believe it's called, and we'll just stick one in each of these so it can accept more power, which will be a very crucial part when we decide to put overclockers into these, but that's something for the future. Now that we've done that, I think we'll want to create some more machines, so I think we'll start off with the compressor, which is pretty easy. So let's take a look at how to make that. Let's go into our inventory and clear that. So compress, and you've got some compressed cobblestone. Have I misspelled it or have I missed it? There it is, compressor. So let's just single it out on its own. Okay, there's other stuff that compresses, but anywho, which requires some stone, a basic machine, and an electronic circuit. Pretty cheap, but I haven't needed it up to now, but I will need it in the future. So once we're on IC2, let's go make it. So I'll gather the resources and we'll be back. And here's the compressor, and we get the achievement, Epic Squeeze. Makes perfect sense as for you squeeze with a compressor. So we'll put the compressor down here, stick our upgrade in here, and you can see that this is going to be a very useful item. As for there's many things you can do with it. You can compress bricks into brick blocks. I'd never have thought about that. But one of the main items, if I can find it again, is going to be this advanced alloy, and you can also create biofuel through industrial craft, but that's something we'll get onto future. And you can also make diamonds, not forgetting them. So we'll move on to next we'll be making is the ore washing plant, and I think I'll leave the thermal centrifuge as for it's a very expensive item, and that'll be it. So let's go make the ore washing plant. So here is the ore washing plant, as you can see, made like so, and we'll put transformer upgrades into that. Now I've just been having a look how long I've been going for, and I think I'm actually going to make the thermal centrifuge this episode, as for we're coming up to about 15 minutes now, I think. So let's take a look at that recipe. Advanced machine block, something new, and the mining laser. Now this advanced machine block requires some carbon plate, and as I said, the advanced alloy, which is mixed metal ingots, which is some bronze, some iron, and some tin. And for the carbon plate, it's this, which is, I'm sure that's supposed to actually be for charcoal, a coal. I'll have to have a check whilst I'm making it, but if I remember correctly, it's supposed to be 4 in a crafting grid, like so. So we'll just see how that works out. So we'll get ready on the thermal thing. Now for the mining laser, we also need to make an advanced circuit, which is pretty simple. You just upgrade the regular circuit with some lapis and some glowstone and redstone. Now this mining laser requires something called an energy crystal, which requires energium dust, which requires 4 diamond dust, which you guessed, each requires you to macerate a diamond. How expensively annoying. So yeah, and what a waste of diamonds, just grinding up and throwing them away. But anywho, we'll get started on making that, and then we'll be back. So now I've crafted the ingredients to make it. We're going to make the mining laser. Now the mining laser is quite literally like is a laser for mining. However, if you look here, it is power tier 3, and I currently only have power tier 2, and the CSU is at power tier 2. Plus, if I remember correctly, it may have changed since the last time I used it. It used to have a 0.1% chance or something like that it would destroy the block it mined. I'd sooner not have that risk, because I used to mine stuff and it'd always end up being something valuable like diamond or something that I really wanted. So we're just going to use it to craft that thermal centrifuge, like so. And then we'll place down the thermal centrifuge, and that'll charge up. Now, we have one problem, and that is that this ore washing plant needs water. Now you can manually bucket that in and out, but that's boring. So we're going to create an automatic way to get water in it. I'm going to use something from a mod called Extra Utilities, and this is called a transfer node, and in brackets liquids, which requires a regular transfer node, which requires some of these items, and I'm going to need another piece, some more pieces of cobblestone. Just smelt some more charcoal, and stick that in there. So we're going to need that. We're going to need a chest, so 2 wood, like so. We're going to need an ender pearl. Now that ender pearl plant had grown, so let's see if I can find it. I think it killed an enderman as well. Yeah. No, wrong one. Now we're going to need some form of pipe, and the cheapest pipe to make is called what's it called? I think it's just called pipe or something. It's somewhere in here. Transfer pipe, that's it, which is some stone slabs, some glass, and a piece of redstone. Grab 2 sand. So we'll make our stone slabs, like so. Stick them like so. Our redstone in the middle. What else do we need for this? We need... I think we've got everything. So our 2 glass in here, like so. Some pipes, and you get a load of those pipes, so it's very efficient to make. Ender pearl, redstone, and stone, and we get 2 transfer nodes, and then we want to turn one of these into liquid, which requires a bucket, some iron, and some lapis, or other form of blue dye. So where's the lapis? I'm going to have to break down one of these blocks. So let's put it there. Lapis, one of those, 2 iron, and I'll grab one of my buckets. Actually, I'll make another bucket because I like to keep 2 buckets on me at all times. And we have our liquid transfer node. Now what we're going to do is we're going to stick this piece of cobblestone here, stick that there, mine that, and I'm just going to break into here. Give me some space to get in behind here. Break up the roof because I just like getting behind. And as you can see, it's holding millibuckets of water. 1,000 millibuckets is equal to 1 Minecraft block, and as you can see, it's got some water, and you can put 8 buckets of water up into this. Now, how do you use this? Well, you're going to get some ore. We'll get some iron, because I'm pretty low on that. And we'll put it in here, and we'll wait for that to macerate up. Now we have the crushed iron ore. You stick it in your ore washing plant. Pretty logical, and this will give us quite a few items, so we'll wait for that to be done. And I'll show you what items it creates, or we'll just wait actually. So now we have some washed ore. Now you can see this purified crushed iron. We have some tiny piles of iron dust, and we have some stone dust. Now you can stick this purified iron into the centrifuge, or you can stick it into the electric furnace. Now I'm going to stick it in the centrifuge. Now one thing to notice, the centrifuge needs to heat up. Now a way to solve it having to wait to heat up every time is if you apply a redstone signal. It will keep its heat. I think after every cycle it does, it'll lose a bit of heat. I think it's about 500 heat, which will be there shortly. And I think I'm producing enough power to keep this going. So yes, I am. How much EU does it use? 48 EU per tick. Okay. So I'm producing enough power to keep all this running. So we'll just wait for it to get to the top. But while that's doing that, quickly, if you take this iron dust and you stick it in a 9x9 grid like so, you get iron dust, which you can then smelt, and it requires 9, and it's just a way to create more iron from it. So it's very minimal increasement, but over time, especially if you set this in an automatic system, it can be very beneficial. Now for next episode, I'm going to be creating some overclockers, and I'm going to cough. Sorry about that. Some overclockers, which, as you can see, will increase that. Now it's going to start producing power, well, heat. So then we will do it. So it's just about to heat up. Sorry about that. Someone was at the door in my bedroom, just looking at me. Doesn't matter. And it's about to complete, and we'll see whether it actually takes off. No, for some reason this keeps lumping up. Okay, maybe it doesn't take off a chunk of heat, but I got some iron dust and a tiny pile of gold. So this centrifuge has quite a few recipes, so you can purify lead, and it gets you 1 extra dust. Now its main use is for uranium, and I do believe that's its main bonus, is using for uranium. Of course. Oh, you can smelt it down. Lithium. Oh, something to know. But anywho, so its main use for the thermal centrifuge is to get more uranium, but it can be used to produce bonuses from other ores. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe if you're new to the channel. Stay well, and Survivor out.